Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to Tasty Tuesday with Dave
and Claire.
All
right, tonight we're gonna make garlic butter zoodles and meatballs.
I'm gonna make dessert.
And I'm ready. All right, so we're gonna get started. This is a really quick and easy recipe, and I have to give credit to our pastor, Pastor Nate. They're both Nates. And we were talking about meatballs on Sunday, and he loves the Greek seasoning. And so I was looking in a cookbook and found this, and I know Linda Reason is into keto, so name dropping here. And so we're gonna go ahead and make these meatballs. So I have some turkey meat. You can use chicken, you can use turkey. And I've added a little bit of lemon pepper into this. We're also gonna add a 1/4 teaspoon of some red pepper, just for a little zip. I don't want too much zip, okay? And we need some garlic. So I already went and squeezed out, pressed some garlic. So we're gonna put that in. And we have lots more to add to this in a different way. And 1/2 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. Still using that Parmesan cheese. All right, we're gonna take an egg and we are gonna whisk this up. And then we're also gonna take some parsley and we're just going to snip that up. Woo! Egg. You guys getting ready to plant some herbs? We're kind of thinking about that right now. What are we gonna plant for this season? I still have basil that made it through the winter and a little bit of parsley that made it through. All right, so we're just gonna mix these together. We need a little bit of salt. And the lemon pepper had the pepper in it, so I am not going to add any extra of that. So I'm just mixing this together. And Dave, do you mind turning this on? So we're gonna use a pan that I rarely use, but I love it. And our old set of cookware had this round piece of cookware that was deep, and we used for when our family wasn't all home. And this pan really, I think, kind of covers what that pan did. Can't make our crepes in here the same, but what I love is that you not only can cook in it, but you can steam in it. And it comes with a little steamer that fits right inside. And if we weren't going to be adding some seasonings into the zoodle part of this, I would even really consider steaming the vegetables. But we want to get this nice and hot, and we are going to get our meatballs ready to go. These are going to cook about 10 minutes. All right, so I did bring out a scoop, and I brought out the medium scoop, and that should be about perfect. So, a little more than a tablespoon. And what I like to do is kind of press it off to the side, and we can just put these in, and they look so perfect. So I might hand this off to you, Dave. If you want to show them up close too what that looks like. Okay, so while that's happening, we're gonna get our zoodles ready. And you can make zoodles with just about anything that you want. Some people love them, some people don't. But the trick is not to cook them too long, because otherwise they get kind of mushy. But if you just do it for a short amount of time, cook it for a short amount of time, it's gonna have just this really crisp taste to it, and what we're gonna put on top of it is going to add so much flavor. So I haven't brought out our spiralizer for quite a long time, so it is about time. We have a trip coming up in a little over a month and a half, and a wedding coming up, so I gotta start getting into shape here. So we're gonna take our zucchini, and if you want, you can take the yellow squash too to add some color. We're just gonna put this on and we're gonna turn. And we're just gonna do this a couple times, and you can see this coming out the side. You can make these smaller, but this size is just perfect. Can you see those creeping out? They look kind of goofy, but they're so easy to do on this machine. I even do apples. And I always give the tip that these ends I like to throw into the freezer. So if I'm gonna make some soup or stock, I can put any of our vegetable ends into the freezer and pull them out when we need them to make that stock, that extra flavor. So I'm gonna just keep doing this, unless you wanna do this, Dave.
I'd like me to.
Yeah. So, and you wanna make sure that you cut this into about thirds. You don't want it too tall. You wanna have it just right. All right, so we need some more garlic for the next part. Do you know about how many that made? It looks like maybe 16-ish. Is that about right?
2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16-ish.
Wow.
That's a very good guess.
That was a guess. All right, so we're gonna put our garlic in here because we are gonna be using this for the next step. Look at that, came out again. All right, so we have our garlic, and we need a couple things. We need some butter, and the recipe calls for about 4 tablespoons of butter. So I'm just gonna put that in here because these are gonna be the first 2 ingredients to go into our pan when we're ready. And then we also are gonna need some lemon juice, which is gonna give our zoodles a ton of freshness. And that's what I love, is just giving them a different taste and just making them fresh. So we're gonna put, calls for about half of a lemon. All right, so that is ready. And we are gonna need some extra Parmesan cheese for the end. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna hand this over to Dave. And if you wanna flip these, you can use the spatula, or you can use our scoop and serve, or you can use a tong and flip them over so you're cooking all the sides. So totally up to you.
That's what you'd like me to do?
But you can start your drink.
Oh.
Do you need to get ice or anything?
I kind of do.
Okay.
I got ice.
Okay, so I'm just gonna grate up this Parmesan cheese. This is gonna go over the very, very top of our dish when it is ready to go. See, I'm getting smarter about thinking of things to say during your ice time.
During my ice time?
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
Are you done saying things during my ice time?
I am.
Okay. Okay, you may or may not have ever heard of a Stroopwafel. How many have? Raise your hand. Got a couple of thumbs up going on there. Tonight I'm going to make a creme brulee martini as one of our dessert items. The other one is not creme brulee. It is using a liquor that I found down at my sister's house. She said, oh, why don't you try some of this stuff? And it's actually a Stroopwafel liqueur. For those that don't know what Stroopwafel is, it's this very thin, waffly type of cookie with a layer of caramel in between. They're very tasty. It's very soft. And
how did you get them?
How did we get them? What do you mean, how did we get them?
Who brought those here?
I did.
Oh, well, our daughters brought them.
Oh, well, those are long gone. I bought these today.
Okay.
Anyway, it's a liqueur that is caramely. It's got a little nutty overtones to it. Even tastes kind of waffly. So I'm going to make a creme brulee cocktail. with it. Creme brulee martini. And I'm only going to make one because I've got 2 different desserts I'm making tonight. So each one of these calls for about 2 ounces of Stroopwafel liqueur. And you'd think it would be kind of syrupy, but it's not. It's thin. It's very good right on its own, right out of the bottle. If you want to throw back a shot or so. And I'm also going to put in here some chocolate liqueur. You can use white chocolate. You can use regular dark chocolate. I happen to have a dark chocolate here because that's what we had in our collection downstairs. All right, those are the only 2 ingredients in there. So, for those of you that have shakers, for one reason, you can make this very simply. Just shake it up. Strain it into a martini glass. So 2 ounces of chocolate liqueur, 2 ounces of Stroopwafel, and you have a creme brulee martini. You can even garnish it with a half of a Stroopwafel cookie. I'm gonna let Claire taste that in just a little bit. The other thing that you can do with the Stroopwafel is simply put it over ice cream. It's a very nice little topping for your ice cream. Gives your ice cream a little bit of flavor to it, obviously. So you can just take your Stroopwafel liqueur and just kind of coat the top of it a little bit. It's kind of a caramelly taste to it. And then you can garnish that with a cookie as well. And you have another nice little dessert. So you've got a creme brulee martini or Stroopwafel over ice cream. Very tasty.
Smells so good.
Smells good? Your stuff or my stuff? Okay, I want you to taste this one first. You already know what ice cream tastes like, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna love this because I love the Stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel.
It's really good.
There you go.
Really, really good. So,
Oops, I got a little ice cube in there. So there you go.
and then what did you do with that one?
I put ice cream in the thing and I poured a little bit of Stroopwafel over the top and stuck a cookie in there so we can drink that by the time we're done because it'll all be melted.
Perfect.
All right.
Delicious.
Here we go.
All right. So this is coming along really, really well. And I transferred the meatballs over here to the other pan so I could get this going. And I just kept the juice. There wasn't a lot of juice, but I did keep the juice from the meatballs in here, any flavoring. And I added the garlic and I added the butter, and they're just about melted. And you just want that garlic just to cook for about a minute till it's super fragrant, and it is. It's just smells so delicious. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna add our Zoodles into this. And I turn this down. I'm gonna turn it up again. And like I said, you don't wanna cook this very long. So this is just gonna cook in here for just a little bit, like so. And then we're gonna add some lemon garlic seasoning into this. I feel like this turned off, Dave. I don't feel it. I don't know, this thing must be about 15 years old. And we are going to add just a little bit of lemon juice in here. And we'll let it cook for just a tiny bit. I think it's coming up. So let's check these. And our meatballs look like they are completely done. So all we're gonna do is put our meatballs on top of our Zoodles and top it with some Parmesan cheese, and it'll be done. So super easy, healthy, keto, and it's just I think we had just about everything in our kitchen to make this. So nice to have those things on hand, and really inexpensive to make too. So, are you eating your cookie?
I'm eating my cookie, which is not keto,
It's
pretty
not.
sure.
No. Alrighty. Thanks for joining us tonight.
We'll see you next time.
Take care.